Hello Taurus, this is Victoria and I'm here with your November tarot forecast. As always, we'll be looking at your love life, your career and workspace, and we'll get you guidance on how to best utilize the energy of the months of November. At the end, I'll post some messages from your person of interest to yourself. Of course, as you know, I start all my readings with a little oracle message, so we'll definitely do that first. I'm going to be using the Enchanted Map Oracle today. This readings are for Sun, Moon, and Rising Taurus. So if you're watching this for a Sun sign, please check out videos for your other placements as well. And of course, reach out for a personal reading. You can order one on my website, mindfulbamboo.com. You can send me an email. You can even contact me in comments, but make sure that you leave your contact information so I can respond back there. Yes, I think that's pretty much it. For those who are new, check out the description box for other content and services. I also do coaching. I record a lot of videos throughout the months. Apart from this monthly horoscopes for each sign, I do lunation events, I do energy portals, other big events astrologically. I do twin flame readings, so make sure that you subscribe so you don't miss any of those. With all that said, let's get started. Taurus, your card today is coming apart. Who are you coming apart from? So it's like a little bit of a representation of the death energy, which I guess is quite fitting because we are in Scorpio season. Let's see what the book says. The coming apart card is a sign to put an end to what is no longer working for you. Has a commitment been broken? Perhaps you need to break a promise, change the course, because you took on more that you could handle. This is a perfect time to reassess your goals and values. Are your actions in alignment with what you believe in? Have you created a partnership that is not mutually beneficial? Separation, disillusion, and dispersion are all in focus now. If someone wishes to break away from you, don't chase the relationship out of a sense of fear. The price you'll pay will not be worth the prize. Separation brings good fortune at this time. So this is a little hard to hear, right? We like to hear beautiful unions and people coming together and, commitments, all this stuff. But when it's about coming apart and it's pretty much, foreseen for you, right? It's part of a divination. And it's almost like, to me, at the very least, it's like, it basically says there is no other way. There's no way around it, right? And it doesn't have to be a person, by the way. It could be a habit, a way of living, maybe some kind of addiction, some kind of a pattern. But it's important at this time to just break ties. And I bet that a lot of you actually knew what I was talking about right when I started saying it. And it's not easy, right? But this is part of a journey, part of the growth process, to be able to put it aside, say, I can do without it, or I can proceed without this person. And who knows, maybe this coming apart is temporary. Maybe you and the other person will take space, will do your thinking, will do your due diligence, your process, and you'll realize something, you learn something, and it will be time and season to come back together again. But at this time, it's about coming apart. That's something that can take you to the next level. And not to put anybody off even more, but we do have Mercury retrograde in this month. So yeah, that would be an additional incentive to come apart for, I'm sure, for many of us. But it's important to use this time for reflection, and I almost want to say, because to me reflection, sorry, I think I lost the card. Oh yeah, there. No, it's not it. Maybe it was just my imagination. That's an interesting sensation. Could pretty much swear that I dropped the card, but I didn't. What was I gonna say? Reflection to me is a little bit more of looking back, but it's also about brainstorming of what you see for yourself in the future, where you don't have the pressure of that something or that someone. That would be the major difference. And you'll see how much immediately your thought process changes. Your energy changes. I'm just saying this because I've done this many times and never cease to be amazed of how much of a difference this makes. So for your personal life and love life, we have Three of Swords. Not a great way to start, but I'm sure it'll get better. Three of Cups. Look at all the threes. It's definitely a third party. Seven of Cups. Okay. For your work life, you have Four of Swords, Queen of Wands, and Two of Wands. And then the advice, Seven of Pentacles, the World. This is Capricorn energy. You could be dealing with a Capricorn. And Ten of Wands. Okay. I mean, I wouldn't say it changed completely, but there's definitely some kind of hope and positive outline for the future. Look at that, Ace of Wands. This is like, right now is a perfect time. Look, like in this case, the fire is in her basically third eye chakra. It's a little bit above, but I usually treat it that way. I see it in that card. So it's very important to connect to your intuition, to your third eye, so that you're seeing beyond what's on the surface, what's in front of you and what's tangible. For your career and love space, we have Three of Swords, Three of Cups, and Seven of Cups. Yeah, so there may be a desire to connect to someone or something. Doesn't even have to be a person, right? Make sure that it's not trauma bonding. That's what I'm seeing here. Because a lot of times, especially if we are in a place of despair or broken heart from a previous relationship, something along those lines, it's like our brain is clinging towards or is searching for someone new to kind of to bond with, right? Otherwise it can be really difficult to cope with the pain, to cope with fear, to cope with anything that comes with this feeling, you know, when you adjust, like you had somebody in your life and you don't, by the way, coming apart, speaking of, right? But it doesn't mean that you absolutely need to have somebody else instead right away. In fact, as I was saying a little earlier, the whole point is about giving yourself space and time. And yes, there will be many different options on where to go and what to do and even who to bond with. But it's important that you are in a place of balance and calm before you do. So you don't do it out of necessity, but you do it because this person brings you joy, makes you laugh, and, you know, makes your life better. Not like, yes, they kind of make it worse, but it's still better with them than without them. Like, no, that doesn't count. I'm sorry. For your career space, you have Four of Swords, Queen of Wands, and Two of Wands. When I started getting these cards out, the question I heard was, what is your craft? In this case, Queen of Wands is a representation of you and your craft. What are you great at? What is your, like, what is that gift that makes you a unicorn, that makes you unique, right? And it doesn't have to be a profession on its own, but it could be the way you connect to people, the way you speak, I don't know, the way you write emails or ads, the way you do music. It's like anything, right? But it's very important to dive deeper into that space and see what your craft is. What is really your thing that makes it yours? Not because you had to do it, not even because necessarily it's your education, but what pumps you up, what connects to your soul. If it corresponds to what your occupation or your education is, perfect, but it doesn't have to be, right? It's important to find something that where you can utilize those gifts and still stay in peace. That peace that we're just talking about, that calm, sense of calm, it needs to stay with you. It's not just like, okay, now we're gonna do this for a couple of weeks, get better, and then be back to the old. No, it doesn't work like that. The whole point of the change is that you establish something new for yourself, and hopefully you will see and appreciate this state of peace and calm on a new level. I mean, it's important when you're making any kind of professional decisions that you come out of that place. And it doesn't have to be like all or nothing, or it doesn't have to be like to feel like your life depends on it. And you're making an uncomfortable choice because it's more practical, or it's gonna earn you more money, or whatever that bargain is, or that negotiation is about. But it's very important to determine what that craft actually is. So that's why I started with that. That's the key here. Advice: 7 of Pentacles, the World, 10 of Wands. 10 of Wands and the World are both about ending. So a couple of other cards talking about ending a cycle, right? Ending that can prompt a new beginning, which is what we see here with 7 of Pentacles. Planting seeds. You need to clear up this space. You need to close off certain cycles, circles, complete certain journeys to then have space, energy, time for this new thing. And this is a collective reading, so I can't really dive deeper into details on this. But I would say, again, with the World card here, I'm being drawn towards your own persona and what you need and what your world would look like. How do you want it to look like, right? Like, that's key here. And then it will be a lot easier for you to see what you need to drop, right? Because 10 of Wands is also about that baggage. Like, this girl has been taking those bags, those belongings around for a while, right? It's been a long journey. And it's like, yeah, well, maybe you don't need all of it. There's a good chance that you don't. So it's important at this time to allow for this to come along, to come through, so you can see who or what is a burden. For some reason, I remember in The Weakest Link. Who's the weakest link? Oh my God. Yes, and as soon as you start dropping that ballast, that's just weighing on you, you'll be able to plant the seeds, and you'll be able to float and fly and see a lot more opportunities, even without making a lot of effort. So the effort is to let go of stuff that doesn't serve you. And then miracles are gonna come in. All right, Taurus, message from a person of interest. What do they want to tell Taurus at this time? This deck is a little bit out of shape, but I'll try to do my best. I like for the cards to like flip out, to like fly out, but this deck is a little bit bent right now, so I'm not sure that this is actually gonna work with it. All right, so Page of Cups is the main card, and it's clarified by 7 of Wands and Ace of Pentacles. Beautiful. So guess what? This person has feels a lot of love for you, a lot of adoration, I would say, right? They feel like a little kid sometimes. It doesn't even matter if it's a boy or a girl, right? Like, oh my God, like I'm looking up to this person, like you're very special to them. And they want to build something with you. They want to, whether it's start up an actual relationship where you become official, a couple, not just kind of like casual or not just friends. Or maybe for some people it's like moving in together, or relocating, or starting like a business together, building a house, whatever it is, like they want that. But they feel certain wall, a certain shield between the two of you. They feel like you're becoming defensive, especially when they talk about this possibility for the future. You don't really allow it to come in. There's something they at least feel like it scares you on some level, but you also don't really want to talk about it. Like, you don't want to tell them what is the problem. So their main fear as a result is that they're the problem, or that you don't want this with them at all. But they're still hopeful. They kind of like nurture. You see how this person is like nurturing their cup with a fish. They're nurturing this love and their feelings and trying to stay strong, and they don't want to get their heart broken. But they still would like to have a resolution to this. They'd like to have an honest conversation, and they'd like to figure out how to proceed further so that both of you feel supported, connected, and happy with the plan. I hope this was useful for you, Taurus. Thank you so much for joining me today. Please don't forget to subscribe to my channel and to like the video and subscribe to my channel. And until next time,